Alrighty then, we lost Chad. Oh, there he's back. I thought maybe he died from his brain freeze of the gallons worth of ice cream he ate.
I mean, half gallon plus a little bit more. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. Lots of mistakes were made. Oh,
I actually even thought about adding this to that ice cream and milk, but
the energy drinks and milk don't mix. Don't do that. Don't be a weirdo.
That
We have
No.
enough of those on Twitter as it is.
no, I immediately stopped and was like, you know what? No, that's not going to work.
Thank you. Thank you for not doing that. That's
Well, yeah, it's
it
like
was orange cream ice cream, and this is orange cream flavor. So I was
mean, people already do weird things and add like protein powders and other stuff, which should just not know.
They're just doing it to be edgy. I hate that crap.
Listen, there was a place in town that I tried the other week. I didn't know it existed. Apparently, it's been sitting there for like 2 freaking years, and they have like milkshakes and stuff. And I guess it's apparently a protein bar, shake and juice thingy.
Mm-hmm.
It was disgusting. $9 fucking for this chocolate milkshake, and it was just like, I couldn't even finish it. And I have a habit of just eating whatever because I can't waste food. Because I've always been on that mentality. You can't waste it. So if the kid doesn't eat it, then I have to eat it. And I couldn't even finish this one. I was just like, yeah. Oh, I tripped and it fell in the trash can. Just so it felt better on my brain that it was an accident that it fell in.
Yeah, that was a thing, man. You did not waste food where I grew up. We just it's like, oh, I can't eat anymore. Oh, okay, put it in a box. That's going to be your next meal.
That's how my parents were. But my mom could magic a meal so that it would taste just as good reheated. It was weird. I could never recreate her magic.
Yeah, my dad fried everything, so is different. A little bit of a different upbringing there. Things from scratch were not. Sorry, you should intro us, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for a break to just cut you off and be like, by the way, this is Gaming with a Side of Salt, episode number 31. We're going to talk about all sorts of random things tonight that is in the gaming sphere, as always. And with me is that guy, wherever he is, because I can't point properly. That chick down there.
Hello.
You know who they are at this point. If you don't, well, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But links for everybody is always in the description down below, primarily on the Rumble side of things, but there's also the stuff on the YouTubes, as long as it doesn't get pulled down because somebody says the wrong words.
Look, my bad. Okay.
I promise the wrong words. I'd say the wrong concepts. That's different.
Oh yeah, did I actually mention that to you, Meg? That one video just it got axed because of something Chad said.
Yeah.
Oh crap! What did you say? Oh, never mind.
Can't say it. The whole thing gets axed then, and then they'll just cancel it, and I can't get
I can give context clues. A context clue shouldn't hurt.
There's a particular
you tell me later,
group in Ohio. They're apparently considered protected, and if you say F them, it is a no-no.
Also, I see.
Never mind the fact that they are actually affecting your general location in a bad, negative way.
Well, you can say F anybody, though. You should be able to, as long as you're not calling for actual
I had to
violence.
take a class, by the way.
Oh, we're into classism. We're in a caste system, are we?
For YouTube to teach me what is acceptable and what isn't. And let me tell you, one of the questions was exactly what Chad did. I'm not lying.
Wow.
The last question on the whole thing was about the same topic, the same scenario. And I was like, well, that was clearly, yes, that's a violation. It's like, you're absolutely correct. That is a violation because protected groups, blah, 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 this, that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, did you write these questions like on the spot? There's no way that has been just laying in a queue forever where somebody originally wrote up this system.
The idea of a protected group of people is disgusting.
It is.
I thought that we were supposed to believe in equality, even equity.
It's equity now.
I hate equity. I hate the idea of equity because of the fact that it.
Well, we all know Animal Farm, right?
No.
There's a line in the book Animal Farm that says all animals are equal, but when the animals came to see the Bill of Rights for the farm, they saw that was changed from all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was about to say about the humans. I was like, that must be how they feel about it. Some humans are more equal than others, and that's what that does, though. And the thing is that it winds up. Well, it winds up for all of they're trying to, make everybody end up at the same place. It's like, yes, but now we all hate each other, because the thing is that the people who are given, this extra boost are going to feel like they're owed something, and people who were not given that extra boost and had to work all the harder are going to see the other people as inferior, and they're going to see them as privileged, and they're going to be resentful of those people. So this is no way to build a society. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop ranting.
Yeah,
we have a lot of things to talk about, and I'm only here for an hour.
Yeah,
so let's
and we very well might get him banned
again.
So Skyrim Grandma is announcing retirement.
Dang.
Golly, Skyrim.
I don't blame her, but
but really?
Like, was she doing it for funsies, or is she just losing her mind, or?
I don't know. I mean, she's probably retiring because she's done playing on stream.
She's bored. Like, she's been doing it so long, and now she's like,
for about 9 years, I think. 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
But known as Skyrim.
I mean, she started at 79. It's not too late for anybody. Sorry.
Oh, 9 years. Okay, she's been doing it for 9 years. I was close.
Oh, you did say 9.
I thought, I said 9 or 8, I guess. Anyway. But yeah, she's announcing her retirement, and it's sad to see. But I guess it's good to just leave on a good note and on your own terms, and instead of letting old age catch you one night.
Yeah.
And then just never coming back, so I can understand.
Yeah, I'd rather not see a nice old grandma lady slumped over on a live stream. That'd be horrifying.
Well, I don't think the live stream will really play. It just wouldn't show up one day.
Well, it sounds like she's, I don't know, was she doing live streams? It looks like she was saying she wasn't going to make any videos and upload them.
I don't see her making any gameplay videos anymore simply because she no longer enjoys it. But isn't quitting YouTube altogether. She continues posting vlogs once in a while, and may occasionally do reading videos of the books of Skyrim or her own stories. So I'm just doing it for fun, and it isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I'm bored with it. I'm bored to death with it. So I'm making the decision now, finally. I am not going to make any more game videos and uploading them. With her new free time, she's going to quilt, read some more, and maybe even write a book.
Sounds like a great retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, the making a quilt thing was a little on the nose, but okay, I mean, that's cool. Hey, if you want to make a quilt, I mean, you actually come away with something at the end of that. I want to get into crocheting, but because I can't sit still and watch TV. So my hubs and I, we like to watch TV, and usually I'm just sitting there like playing a game on my phone at the same time. I'm listening, and I'll pause the video and rant for a while, as I do here. Shocking, right? I'm the same person. But yeah, like learning to like make something would be super awesome. It requires a little bit more patience, dexterity, ability than I have. I'm gonna try to learn though, maybe someday. When I'm 88.
Anybody want to watch every IGN Elder Scrolls review?
I absolutely. I'm not interested in the game, so not really. Unless the person's entertaining, like if they're funny, then yeah. I'll watch anything that's entertaining.
I loved doing unarmed in Skyrim and killing somebody with a pile driver.
Yeah, I always did the sneaky spell stuff, so I totally can see Chad doing unarmed or big giant hammers, so
Oh, it was not. It was
right.
I found it by accident because I was playing and I forgot to equip the weapon. Mm-hmm. Then I did a flourish against the enemy, and he grabbed him, flipped him upside down, and pile drived him into the ground, and he just popped up like a pogo stick and died, like body launched and died. I was like, oh, this is my spirit animal for fighting style, WWF style.
That's really funny though, if you really think about it, because our play styles are all complementary, I suppose you could say. Chad's the Titan, and Zio is always the Magic Man, and I'm usually playing some sort of rogue. So I like to hit things and then
we got the Holy Trinity going on.
Yeah. Well, Trinity. We'll decide whether or not it's holy or not.
Well, I don't know if it's holy, but yeah, definitely a Trinity.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm holy, darling. That's all. I mean, I am saved by grace, but holiness is not inherent in me. All right, go ahead. Next topic.
All right, so we're going to segue into Square Enix real quick because they did a nice thing.
They did.
A very nice thing, which is pretty cool. So, Final Fantasy XIV pauses housing demolition in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Now, I was looking through, the post, and there was a lot of people who just didn't quite understand what was going on. But for the uninitiated, Final Fantasy XIV is an MMO. In that MMO, they actually have player housing, and they do it probably the best of any MMO out there, minus actually acquiring the house. Putting the house together and putting stuff in it and stuff, I love it. It's the best one I've seen. However, actually acquiring the house is kind of questionable. I don't like it too much. I gave up trying. I haven't limited. Anyway, now spaces are insanely limited for housing because it is like its separate little thing, and then there's like 24 of these things or 40 of them now, and then they've got like slots 1 through 15, and then 16 through 30 or something like that. And you can imagine like 40 of these things practically stacked on top of each other, metaphorically, in its own little instanced thing. But houses is limited, and as a result, there is a system in place that says if you don't log in X amount of days, your house automatically will go back to the market.
Oh, everything I see.
Gets packed up. You can retrieve it if you go talk to a certain guy within like X amount of days as well. Mm-hmm. But if you don't log in and actually, go to your house at least once in X amount of days, and it's a generous amount. It's like 30 to 60 days or something like that. The house goes back up on the market because housing spaces are limited. And that's why this is kind of a big deal. The fact that they're halting that particular system in the game because of people who are affected by this hurricane can't really log in.
Yeah.
They've lost everything, or they don't have power, or don't and all this other stuff, don't have internet, so it's really hard for them to log in and preserve their house.
From my understanding,
45 days. There it is. That's the number.
Yeah.
Well, at least.
So from my understanding, just a quick tangent. I think if I last read, it's for electricity to be fully up and running in North Carolina and Tennessee, I believe they predicted about 60 to 90 days, give or take.
Really?
Yeah. North Carolina got hit, like wiped off the map.
Well, yeah, definitely North Carolina's a lot worse. I mean, they have towns.
North Carolina is infinitely worse,
but they're like under 3 feet of mud or something, but there are places that just practically have been wiped off the map, it looks like, almost. Yep. But no, they got our power for the most part of places still left. Mm-hmm. I think they got that up and running for the most part, and they should be done with it by the end of the week. And water is finally starting to pump through our systems, so we're starting to get water back in places, which is nice. Running water.
Oh, good. But yeah,
this is just a nice little thing. Square Enix occasionally does a thing that is nice and should be embraced when they do it.
Reward them when they do a good thing.
Smack the hand when they're bad and pat the head when they're good.
Exactly. So let's segue into the next thing. This right here, game journalists panic.
Rant incoming.
Well, I don't know if there's going to be a rant, but no, wait, Meg's probably going to rant anyway.
That's what I do, y'all. That's why I'm here. I am here for this.
So I ran into this post here, and Jordan's one of those professional games journalists, right?
Journalists,
whatever. But anyway, so I ran across this post, and I now know who Vera Dark is. Didn't know beforehand. Vaguely think I kind of maybe heard of a name somewhere.
Oh, she's
maybe
cool people.
Covered a thing she said or something in the past, but
yeah, I used to watch her stuff.
Anyway, so she's got this tweet here, and this game journalist should be required to live stream and upload a complete unedited playthrough of a game on their socials in order to continue receiving review codes for publishers. This allows the audience to see their authentic reactions and ensures transparency. It also holds journalists accountable, ensuring they actually play the entire game before writing and releasing a review.
I concur. Hey, Dara's in the chat, man.
Yeah, and if Chad doesn't actually announce that it's a dono, I can't click over to look at it.
Well,
Dara with the $2 dono. Well, hello, stranger. What's this show about? Right now, it's about journalists panicking about transparency.
Yep.
But yeah,
it's about gaming with a side of salt and many, many topics in gaming that deserve salt. We are mining. How you doing, man?
Mining those mines. Yeah. So this sparked a big thing.
It did a big thing because I mean I saw a little bit on it.
It was a big thing, or at least it was a big thing for me because I made one little post about it, and it just was banging off constantly of people bending over backwards. Now,
really jumping through really doing those acrobatics.
That's crazy, though. I mean, why though? I mean, you could say, I don't think that's actually
here. The thing is,
Dara's spicy today. What is happening?
All right, $5 dono from Dara. That's right, Daddy is in chat, and he's going to make it troublesome time. Okay, Daddy.
Okay,
I will not call.
And immediately realized I'd probably get you banned. So never mind.
Don't say that then. Daddy's in the chat. Daddy Dara. There we go.
You just know it was a certain provocative sites theme.
Oh, we don't need to go to the hub tonight, Chad. But anyway, apparently people are getting hung up on this upload a complete unedited playthrough. And they keep really getting hung up on this whole, you want us to stream 80 hours worth of game? That's going to get us blacklisted and all this other stuff. And I just wanted to take this for a second, dissect it, and break it down for a hot minute.
Oh.
This idea of journalists.
You might want to switch to your tea drinker.
Wait, what?
I'm thinking I might need to, but I'm not ranting yet. I'm gonna.
Okay.
It depends on how pissed off I get because I'm trying to let it percolate.
Oh, what's wrong, Daddy Dara? $3 dono from Dara. Never mind, coming from your mouth. He almost threw up. Yeah.
That's what she said too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want Chad to call you Daddy? Is that what it is? Chad, call him Daddy.
Hang on a second. Okay. Ready?
Yeah. It was silent, dude.
We could not hear that.
Okay, my Go XLR broke then. Probably. It was the monster voice, and
it did not come through well at all.
Okay. Well, I'll just say regularly. Hey, Daddy. Welcome to ASMR with Chad.
But anyway, so they keep getting hung up on this whole game, right, online, and they keep getting hung up on this whole before release date bit too. And this, what'd you do?
Don't know.
I don't know. Are you ready to turn around and cough? Anyway.
Okay. So you want me to announce donos. Careful what you wish for.
Well, you can read the donos for me for now on.
Okay, prepare to be interrupted.
But anyway, so they get hung up on all that stuff, right? And the idea of games journalists actually uploading their playthrough is an awesome idea, in my opinion.
I think so too.
You know, and they keep bending over backwards saying they can't do it. It's impossible. It's a thing. And it's like, nobody wants you to break Street Date. Nobody wants you to break, you know, the embargo. And it's real simple. You have to play the game in order to review it, right?
Yeah.
So when you boot the game, you also boot OBS or something, you know, free software. You don't have to pay for it. And then hit the record button.
Come on, Zio. It only hurts a little bit. Doctor's order.
I don't think this is better.
This is not better.
I don't think this is better.
You know what? I think I'm going to go back to doing it.
This is nightmare fuel.
Oh, God. Oh, that was horrible. Anyway, I don't want to stop it.
He's like, stop it. I'm scared.
I need an adult.
Hey, Scott, welcome to the stream. You came at an awkward time.
Oh, gosh. Yes, it is. Definitely an awkward time tonight. Anyway. But, you know, you hit the record button, and then you do everything you normally would as you're reviewing it, right? You play the game, you look at the stuff, you take your notes. When you get done playing the game, you hit end record. And then later, after, you know, because the review is going to come out before the game releases, more than likely, because they usually do. You know, the review goes up, and, you know, considering I'm going to go on a limb and just say that none of these reviewers who do the video ones anyway, they don't actually do the video. Like, they don't edit or anything. They just record.
Have a good night, Dara. I won't read this. I'll leave it for Zio.
Hey, Zio, you gotta Dara's heading out with the final dodo.
$10 dono from Dara. Glad I made you your last stop of the Pay It Forward stream. Love you guys and enjoy the rest of your night. All right, Dara.
Thanks,
have a
Dara.
good night.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping
Thanks for the
by.
nightmare
We love
fuel.
you too.
Appreciate it.
We greatly appreciate it. But I forgot what I was saying.
Well, so I think at your point, he is terrorizing us, Stephen. But I would say that it's fine to do the recording, and then they say, "Oh, well, you can't do the whole game." Well, you could do the whole game. People do playthroughs, but the thing is that first and foremost, you do your pre-review before it comes out, and you just say what you think about it, and then after the game launches, your full review can come out along with you playing, you know, and that's fine.
Why don't you mention that, Meg?
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Chad decided to do a first look after streaming Thrones of Throne and Liberty for about 2 hours, and he posted it on Twitter, by the way. Yeah. So, you know, it's up there in Word format. He was capable of doing this. He's not a professional journalist, but he was able to do it. But anyway, so my tweet about it was like, you know, regular people do this every single day to 0 viewers on Twitch.
Hello.
And then games journalists are like,
really had to
that's impossible. But anyway, so the point is that there's a lack of trust in games journalists, especially when it comes to reviews a lot of the time now. And in order to build back some of that trust, they need to show that they've been playing the games. And I'm starting to get on the bandwagon of game journalists don't actually play any of the game hardly that they're reviewing. I don't know where they're getting their talking points from. Maybe one person does it and just writes down some notes and says, here, make your review. Or maybe the company sends them the stuff to do it at this point. But, you know, I'm trying to think of my words now.
Well, I'm starting to think that maybe it reminds me of when I was in my English class and English 2 class in college, which actually made me almost want to give up reading altogether. And I love books. And the thing is that they would read the story, but it wasn't for the story. It was literally, they were like, we're going to write an essay now about symbolism or about subtext or something that the story wasn't about. I was like, well,
Gosh, I hated those assignments. Anyway,
they're terrible. And I literally almost gave up on words. I was like, I hate written words after that class. You have no idea. The thing that saved my life, actually, my aunt handed me the Shogun book, which is kind of an odd way to say I hate words now, and she hands me a 1,300-page book, but whatever. So but the thing is that these are people who are not looking at the game as a person who actually enjoys games. They're looking at it like they would in their English classes, where they're trying to be original and unique and have this different take on it. Well, if you look at it sideways and squint and try and apply, I don't know, this type of life philosophy to it, and I'm somehow going to shoehorn in this other thing. It's like with abstract art, basically. It's like these abstract art critics when they're trying to tell you what they think that something actually means when that's not what it means at all. It was like, I thought it was pretty. You get this kind of thing, and this is basically this postmodernist approach to critiquing anything, and it's come into games, not understanding that the people who actually care about this are not going to be coming at it from a postmodernist sort of what is it, deconstructionist point of view. They just want to play game. It has been long day. I want to play game. I want to sit down and look things within face, and I want to enjoy my time, because in like 3 hours I have to make dinner and then go to bed and then do it all over again. And I am tired, and this is my fun. Okay, so
but don't you understand, Babushka Meg?
Yeah, they need to understand things. Okay,
in Soviet Russia, gameplay you.
Yeah, no, but exactly. I mean, that's also part of the problem too. It's like when you read some of these reviews, and we're going to talk about just written reviews at this point real quick, because they don't really do video reviews except for on bigger titles for the most part.
Yeah.
And, you know, usually there's somebody else who's doing the editing. Somebody else has probably written the script for whoever's actually reading the review to begin with. We probably don't know who the real reviewer is on those unless they actually have it listed in their description. Nobody's looked. You know, but, you know, with a lot of these written reviews, you can just feel the disdain for the fact that they're reviewing this particular game. Yeah, and that has bugged me for a very long time, because this was a problem back in 2014 still. You know, you can tell that that's not the person who should be reviewing this game. You know, you don't say, hey, you, go ahead and review this RPG even though all you ever play is fighters. That's a bad idea. That's not how that should work. You should not have somebody who knows nothing about the genre doing that. You should have people in staff who know about, who are like specialists for particular things, and use them to write the review, because they're going to write down the stuff that is actually important to a gamer who enjoys that genre.
It should probably be a contractor job.
Don't.
Yeah.
They just, I guess they probably handle it like a newsroom or something. It's like, all right, so Palworld's coming out. Jimmy, you got Palworld. Other game coming out. We've got a code here for The Witcher, whatever. Tara, you get this. And, you know, that's I mean, so I can assume on that point, but as for when it comes to reviewing a game, it's pretty easy. For the most part, to actually do the whole play the game and then write down the information, take notes, and then putting it into paper after that. Well, maybe not easy for everybody, but I assume it's easy for me. How's that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the job, though. If you can't do the job, you shouldn't be doing the job. But I think that it should actually probably be more of a gig economy sort of thing. It should be more like on contractor, because of the fact that there's so many different types of games. And like you said, not everybody is into that type of game. I am absolutely lost when it comes to something like Path of Exile. I was able to pass it, I'm still mad about it. It's okay. It's all right. But I know that I missed out on so much of the nuance in it, and I didn't even listen to the story because I didn't care. I was like, it's been a long day. I just want to hit something in the face and then run away.
Yeah.
Distracted by life. I'm sorry. Yeah, it can.
Yeah, it can. I'm sorry, distracted.
But the thing is that because of the fact that we have all of these games that are specialized and they're all these different genres, maybe it's not efficient monetarily to actually have all of these people on staff all the time when these people might not necessarily be the best people for the job, so it would probably be better to just kind of have a bunch of people on retainer and be like, hey, we're gonna pull you in at this time or for this many articles.
Just have it a contract type thing at that point.
But
then again, I think the problem with that is the fact that the company itself gets the code. Like IGN gets a code for new game.
Yeah, but that's when you have an NDA sort of thing.
But unless you get contractor in to studio to actually do the thing, contractor can't access IGN's copy of game.
Why not? Can't they send it to him?
So I don't think they can. Well, I mean, I guess they could, but then they lose access to the code and it's on their Steam library instead or whatever library. And I can understand if they want to hold on to their copies, and chances are they've probably got a thing saying they can't do that to begin with.
Probably distracted. Probably.
It's Chad's fault. Yeah, definitely Chad's fault. Distracted.
Everything.
Anyway. But yeah, so I did have a semi-productive, back and forth with somebody, which was interesting. He kept going on to these tangents about review scores because apparently, I guess in this is a thread of multiple tweets apparently, and in there she was talking about review scores, but since there was no link to the original tweet, it's just a screenshot because Jordan's a pussy.
Yeah, I was like, that's what brave people do. So stunning, much brave.
Yeah. He can't actually link the tweet so we can go see what all she's talking about, just the snapshot. So all I was focused on was the snapshot because it's all I know about.
Yeah. Well, if this is what you're going to address,
dude kept going into like review scores and this, that, and the other. And, because there's like hundreds of games out there, they can't review everything, which is why you always have 7s out of 10s for the most part, because these are going to be all your like 1s through 7. And it's like, that's great and all. We're not telling you to review every single game.
Yeah, I think that's
and for the most part, y'all never did that to begin with. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the fact that they admitted to doing that is kind of concerning because that means that they're a jack of all trades and a master of none.
But yeah, there was also another thing that came up that piqued my interest, and he was talking about, well, they have contracts. They can't play the whole game or a good chunk of the game and upload it later due to contracts. And, at first thought, I was thinking, well, yeah, after the embargo, you can.
Yeah.
Because the embargo is the contract.
Yeah.
What this guy was talking about was a further contract beyond the embargo, which leads me to other questions. Is like, wait, does that mean that like IGN and Kotaku and whoever it is who gets these review games, do they have like a contract with Ubisoft separate from the embargo contract that states, oh, by the way, any game of ours that you get, you can't show more than 30 minutes of footage? And if so, is there other things in this contract, which is why they seem to be so, favorable to certain games when they really shouldn't be?
Well, they got busted for that a couple times. A couple of different journalists did, where they had a contract with XY company that minimum rating was like 6.5 or 7 that they were allowed to give. Otherwise, they'd be in breach of that contract.
Would lead credence to why Vera would be talking about, review scores too. Mm-hmm. It's like, so if you got like this contract with Ubisoft that says any major Ubisoft title that comes out, you'll never rate below a 6.5. Is that why everything is a 7 out of 10 and up every time Ubisoft launches it, even though it shouldn't be? Yeah. I mean, we play it, we know for a fact it's not a 7 out of 10. I mean, we just had that Star Wars game launch, and it was
Dustborn was 7 out of 10.
I mean, we had Dustborn, which is definitely not a 7 out of 10 either. those games were mediocre games.
No.
They had a lot of flaws. Okay,
No.
Spawn was a lot lower than that. But,
Thank you. Like,
Star
don't you
Wars,
dare take down the name of mediocrity.
sorry.
I take that
Star
personally. I
Wars,
feel attacked.
the Star Wars game was a mediocre game.
Yeah.
It could have been better, way better.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do it. They didn't hit the mark. And they did have some one-ups on Starfield already, because you could transition to a planet without a loading screen.
Yeah.
Or using a menu, for that matter. But I mean, the concept for it actually isn't that bad. Although, if you really want that experience, go play Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO. Seriously, if you want the experience that the Star Wars game was going for, it already exists in an existing free-to-play MMO right now. Well, and you can play as a bounty hunter, and you can make it male or female, and you could do that and have that experience. And to be honest, it's a better experience, and it's like an 8-year-old MMO at this point. So, but if they've got contracts like that would explain a lot. And that also, leads to other questions, like what exactly is in that contract. But, this idea that you can't show your work is also ridiculous. Yeah. Because, I got all the excuses in the world. It's like, oh, yeah, because they need to add another 8,000 hours onto their workday. When are they going to actually take the time to do the thing? They've got to write the review, and they've got to do this, that, and the other. And it's like, it takes like 3 seconds. You hit record, end record. And then when the embargo is up, you upload it. Like, it's not hard. Once the heavy lifting, and the heavy lifting is really simple too. It's make a specific, YouTube page or whatever for the reviews to go to. Like, you've got the IGN page that posts the actual review, right? And then you can have IGN plays or something. And that's the companion to it. So then, say you've got journalist D-Pad Chad here, and he's writing a review for Thorns and Liberty. He writes his review. It goes up to Metacritic and all that stuff. Review. They put their page up. So on IGN, by D-Pad Chad, Thorns and Liberty review. He goes through. He bashes Trump real quick, and then calls it a day. And that's how they work, Chad. Don't give me that look.
Well, no.
Every review is the same at this point. They have to
not Chad. He's saying Chad. The gaming journalist, not you. The alternate version
your
of
alternate
you.
ego.
You see, Throne and Liberty is misogynist.
But anyway, so you do all the normal review stuff. And then you just have that video sitting there on the hard drive or whatnot, right? And then the embargo list, the game comes out, and then in a couple of days or whatnot, after the game has started circulating, people play it, maybe a week later, something like that. Give it a few days so you're not just, spoiling shit or something immediately. Somebody uploads it. IGN has staff who can do that. It's not hard, and it's really easy. You just click the thing a few times, and then boom, it's uploaded to, IGN Plays. And then you take it, you link to it in the description of, or wherever in the reviews, or to the written review at the bottom, you put like companion piece, play, so-and-so plays, and then it's there for people to click on and look at. And then they can see Chad, playing the game, stopping for, 5 minutes to jot down notes and stuff. And
people eat that stuff
menus up. And looking at menus and things. And he doesn't have to say anything. I mean, maybe if he's one of those who talks to himself and is like, oh, sweet. They have a slider for that. And I better add that. And, and that's all you have to do. It's no added time.
And I think
you actually play one portion of the game.
I think that it is a little bit of added time, but the thing is that you have to look. You should be able to look at the positives as well as the negatives. The negative part would be whatever's in that contract, in which case that's actually going against your credibility. But Also, you have to, take a little bit of time. Maybe this person isn't used to that and they have to kind of learn that. They might have to like comb their hair or whatever, be a little bit presentable.
Well,
But
I mean, other than maybe being a little bit presentable,
Okay,
but I
are
guess
y'all
it
tag
depends on
teaming
where
me
they
this
are when they
time?
play the game too, because
Comb my
you know,
hair. Thank you. I appreciate that.
from what I can
your
tell,
beard.
when people play and review these games, sometimes they take them home, sometimes they're in
Yeah.
office and stuff like that, which might be a bit of an issue. It would have to all be practically in office at that point, or you've got
Not,
to actually
not
hit the
No, it
really.
doesn't.
record button at home.
No,
Yeah.
But
no, because you can do the gameplay at home using OBS, no problem, and then send the file to the office for the editors to work with, and then they
well,
just
see, I
take it
figured
from
the
there.
office would be easier to set up if they've
Yeah.
got like a review copy on the Xbox, right? That one's a little
Yeah.
bit trickier to capture, but I guarantee their offices have all the equipment necessary to do the thing.
By the way, real quick, Ubisoft is a French company, which is probably why they're giving up.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they are a French company, aren't they?
I just saw Distracted by Life say Ubi is like the Canadian
Distracted.
Ely.
Way to go, Distracted. You've distracted us again.
Well, I think that though what they could get out of it though would be substantially more. A, you get a channel that gets views and it's going to get some sort of income. Two, you're actually going for to bolster your credibility, because
Yeah.
right now we don't think you guys play these games. We don't believe you. We don't think that you actually are good at these games or good enough to be offering any sort of opinion. We're like, this from someone who sucks at this game and can't play, or this from someone who didn't even play this game and is just getting payola to say nice things.
Which I will tell you this, I do use game journalists like ratings and stuff to kind of give me insight on what games, because
Well,
if they rate a game 8 out of 8, 9 out of 10 out of 10, what a high rating, that signals to me to never play that game.
If
It's kind of like movie
more
critics.
of a movie critique, because the rating system on games are just busted in general.
Yeah.
Because they do rate the good ones like a 9.5 out of 10 and stuff, and very rarely a 10 out of 10. But, that's because they can't get away with it in the gaming industry like they could,
yeah,
in other traditional medias. But that also led to another thing too. The fact that they don't have credibility and people are questioning, that was the other excuse that I was also given multiple times. It's like, well, it's not going to change anything.
It absolutely would.
Well, it won't overnight, no. And that's the problem with you. You want instant change, and nothing good ever comes overnight.
No.
It takes time. Your reviewers have to start doing this as a standard practice. And then your editors who put the stuff up there, because I'm sure the reviewers don't publish it either. They just submit it and then somebody else posts the thing up for review. I know how media companies work for the most part. The person who writes the review, they do the thing. Somebody else might, spell check it. Actually, in this day and age, they may skip a lot of processes that old journalists used to do at this point, and then it just gets submitted after it's been spell checked, and then the editor goes, all right, let's put it up, and then somebody takes time to put it up on the page and all this other stuff. But there are people to take care of that stuff. It doesn't really add a whole lot of extra work to the reviewer. They just have to hit record and hit end record. And that's about it.
Honestly, it's a change, and I think that they're just resistant to change because it sounds like they'll have to do more, and they probably would, but they would also find that the juice that they get is definitely worth the squeeze, I think, because right now their industry is dying, and we're not killing it, we're starving it. So yeah, we're kind of killing it by just not feeding this beast,
by not engaging in it.
Yeah, absolutely. They need food. We need to clap so that Tinkerbell lives, and we are refusing. We are sitting on our hands.
Yeah, you got people on video sites who are doing that sort of thing, but better. Yeah. And they have more credibility because they play the game. And see, here's the thing. They don't have to play every single game, and you watch it to know that they've played the game. right?
Yeah, if it's up there, I know that you played it. Okay, cool. But the thing is that, yeah, when it comes to these kind of sites, I literally only go to them if I'm trying to figure out when something is coming out or what the buzz on the street is on it. I will never go to them to find out what they think about a video game because I don't care. I honestly don't. I will watch a video on Rumble or on YouTube if I have to. I will watch a game player actually talk about it, which actually takes longer for me, and I actually would prefer written words, but I don't trust them anymore. I think they're all liars. So I will actually take the extra time to turn on sound and to take the longer time to listen to a human talk rather than reading, because I read faster than I talk. And I read faster than I listen. Sorry, I messed that up. Anyway, but yeah, I will take the extra time because of the fact that I feel like they're lying to me and it's not worth my time. It's absolutely not worth my time. So right now they do not have a client. But if they actually started doing things where they would put things up and then I could read their review and know that it was legit, then I'd be like, "Oh, okay. Your input is valid." And I would prefer to do that because I prefer the words. The industry seems to have dried up. Well, it's drying up and they're really mad about it.
Oh yeah, they're very mad about it. They're very resistant. But it's like if Riker comes out and tells me, things about Path of Exile 2 and does a review on it, I believe he's probably played the game. He doesn't have to show me that he played the game because he's a huge ARPG player. He plays all the ARPGs. He's done it on stream multiple times for years, and he reviews a lot of these games and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I will trust whatever he says, and I don't have to see him play it. But Joe Smo from IGN, when you come out and start bashing on a game that clearly looks pretty damn good, I have to ask, did you even play it? Because, just recently we had that same question come in with, what's the monkey game again?
Wukong.
Wukong. Yeah. It's like, did you people even play past the first hour of this game? Which is another thing, because, a lot of their reviews say this, that, and the other, and then what also needs to change is them stop adding additional shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, and then according to this IGN article, the company of this game is apparently rife with sexism. That nobody gives a damn about that. You want to change your image? You want to actually be more respectable and people to look you out and remember your name? Yeah. You need to stop doing that stuff. And you saw it with that Wizarding game too, Hogwarts Legacy. And this game is, they're glowing reviews for Hogwarts Legacy. They're talking it up. It's great. And then partway through there, near the beginning of it, there's this entire paragraph about how J.K. Rowling's a bigot. Nobody fucking cares.
Yeah.
The only one who cares is you and the other little freaks who care about that shit.
The moment you try to use insert buzzword here, immediately disregard everything else you're about to say.
Shit, there was a whole rash back in 2016, I think it was, 2017, of games coming out, and every single review had this paragraph about how Trump was evil and bad, and it's just like, none of that needs to be there. I want to know, are the mechanics solid? Does it have a pay store, a microtransaction store in it? How does the controller hold up to it? How does the keyboard hold up? What's the skills look like? What is this? What is that? I want to know about the game itself. How are the graphics? Is there tearing? Is it, does it have ray tracing? Stuff like that. I don't need to know about your political shit. Halfway through
on it.
Well, yeah. I think that this goes back to my point at the beginning when I was talking about my English classes in college, where they're looking at the wrong thing. As a person who reads, I don't care about all of this symbolism that's in there. I care about the actual story that's being told. The symbolism is secondary at best, maybe even tertiary. Or it just might be like, oh yeah, and that was there, and it doesn't even rank a number. The things that they are so concerned with are things that are not important to us. But the thing is that because these people are probably they see Distracted cares about your opinion, Chad. The thing is that what they're doing is they're basically writing their English papers. That's how they're approaching these things. They are approaching them like it's some kind of college course, and they're trying to impress their professors.
What?
Hear
that, Zio? My opinion, Somebody
your opinion matters only to distracted. Anyway.
Oh, by the way, I got the best review of Black Myth Wukong I've ever seen. I linked it to you.
Where at? Okay.
Monkey.
There you have it.
Monkey.
There we go.
So
Best review.
But yeah, there was also another thing that came up because it was talking about Dragon Age, right? The new Dragon Age, the new one coming out.
Veilguard,
yeah. There we go. Jeez, my brain doesn't work. I've worked all day. I dealt with a natural disaster all week. Yeah.
All right, he's gonna use the natural disaster.
I am. The whole world was coming down around me. Damn it!
And the snow
literally.
is up here.
But anyway, so they were the whole thing was, well, usually a lot of the times the company sends clips, and that's the only thing they can use in their reviews, and it's like, well, that's fine. Again, that's their reviews.
Yeah, that's
right?
not the proof.
We're talking about showing your work.
Yeah,
they're two separate things, and these people can't get these two things apart from one another. They got to marry them together. But also led me to ask, the question. It's like, so what actually happened? Did they just send like 12 to 15 clips?
And that's all they used.
And this is the really interesting part is before that I was told they played the game. That's how they have the clips, right? Or that's how they have footage for video reviews. And then same person tells me, well, the companies send them like 12 to 15 clips, and that's all they can use in their reviews. And then it's like, well, okay, then what? That makes no sense.
Out both sides.
You're kind of telling me two different things there. But at the same time, I absolutely believe that is the case because a lot of these reviews, they have the exact same B footage, which, by the way, was another comment before was talking about, it's not like they just have random B footage that they can use or something. And it's like they have to get it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? By playing the
B-roll
game. And it's
like pain.
But no, it is B-roll. If Ubisoft sends them 12 to 15 clips of their new game, and they can only use this in their review, right? That's all they're allowed to use. And then every review from like that's video from like The Verge, IGN, Rough Nut, whoever, is out there, and they're all showing the exact same footage in the same spot. The same guy is doing a kick at the same time in the same location. It makes it really hard for me to believe that they sat down, played the game, and recorded that footage by hand.
Yeah,
they were sent that.
I don't know.
And are they making a review based off of just these clips and cliff notes that Ubisoft sent them? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
it's not really a review.
And that goes to the credibility question that we have.
Yeah, which goes back to credibility. And it's like, if you show us your work, we know you actually played the game at some point.
So I don't know.
Well, then they'll be saying you didn't really play the game. Well, that's what the fucking camera is for fuck's sake. Speedrunners have been doing this setup forever. Yeah. It's not hard for them to figure out to set camera to see you play the game. And they have the equipment to just do it already in studio or at the workplace for the most part. It's not hard to set it up and do it. They just don't want to, which makes me believe that they don't actually play the games that much. And then when you have things like, I talked about this with Chad the other day because I couldn't remember who it was, but there was a review that came out and it was lambasting this game that was coming out. And then the company asked them to take it down. So then they went on talking about how this company's trying to force us to take down our review, blah, blah, this, that, and the other. And we stand by our words and we stand by our journalists and everything. And the company's like, listen, we tried to do this privately. You need to take it down. But if you want to do this publicly, it will pretty much get nasty, right? And then they kept doing their victim thing. And then the company came out and was just like, and the studio came out and said, listen, we gave you 2 review codes. One never got logged into. The other one got logged into for about 2 hours. An hour and 50 some minutes of that one was sitting in the character creator. The other 10 minutes was actually playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You didn't play our game. Your review is invalid. Take it down.
Yeah. And again, this goes to what we all think, what we all suspect, and they need to. And the thing is, I think that some of this pushback is people who are with either stupid or just completely devoid of imagination, or they're intentionally just misunderstanding. So like, well, you can't put that in your review. Yeah, duh. Nobody said this is the review. This is something that goes on a separate channel. This is another thing. This is in addition to, but this is how you got your review. We're not asking you to do something that you didn't already do. You already played this freaking game. We're asking you to turn on a camera while you do it. That's not so hard. So that's the thing. Now, yes, there are extra steps that are going to be involved to make it look presentable. We want to be very, very professional. Blah blah blah. Fine, but the steps are not that much. And the thing is, right now, we doubt everything you say. We don't believe you. We barely believe you're a real person. So, I mean, this is.
Well, they're trying to sound smarter than they actually are. Distracted.
That's they
also. I want to point this out. There was a real famous quote. I think it was from Einstein. I might be misremembering, but the quote was, "A fool has to describe his hypothesis with as many words as possible, while a genius can describe it to the average Joe."
Yeah, absolutely. The word is erudite, darling. No, but no. I mean, the thing is that a lot of times they learn a lot of very fancy words, but they can't explain what these words are. Every word is basically supposed to convey a concept. That's what we're doing when we're using words. We're trying to find a way.
Describing a self-proclaimed fool. Anyway.
Yeah. We're describing the thoughts that are in our head and trying to form them into a way that we can actually convey these ideas to another person.
I usually just vomit things out.
Well, that's what you're doing though. That's what language is. You have a thought, you have a feeling, and now you're giving it words and shape, and that's how you hand it to other people so that they can understand you, which is why language is so important.
One of my favorite burns.
That's why they like to destroy language.
One of my favorite burns is that you don't speak the English language as much as vomit it.
But I think that's why they use so many big words, or they change the meaning of words. They use these words to hide and to obfuscate what they're actually trying to say, or the fact that their points are actually vapid. They'll use big words to make you feel like you're too stupid to argue with them, and therefore you won't. And a lot of times when you say, "I'm sorry, what do you mean when you say that?" And they'll try to kind of say the word again. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't explain what you mean when you say that. Sell it to me like I'm 4. Let's pretend I'm an idiot. Explain it to me. I don't care if that takes a couple of points away from my intelligence in your opinion. If you can't explain it, you're not just a fool, but you're dishonest. So, but I mean, I think that is the thing. That's why they use the big fancy words. They do it on purpose. It's a way to hide, to obfuscate what they actually mean. Who needs Confucius? We have
Confucius say, "Man who farted in church sit in own pew."
But yeah, I'm starting to believe that a lot of these journalists just don't play the game at all anymore.
Yeah,
and it doesn't help that the few times that we actually do get footage of them playing, it's horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, the two notable ones is the Cuphead tutorial, and then playing the new Doom game where the guy couldn't aim at all.
Wait, I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that one?
No.
Yeah, dude tries to play. Yeah, let me see if I can bring it up then. Journalist.
Yeah, I didn't see the Doom one. I don't think so.
Never forget the moment. Polygon. It was Polygon. Okay.
Oh, God.
Never forget Polygon uploaded their own first gameplay footage, Doom 2016, and it was the worst and best casual moment in gaming journalism.
But the thing is that I don't mind that. As a mediocre basic player, that's fine. Okay, I'm watching.
I'm trying to fast forward to the gameplay.
What?
He's playing with one hand. Why is he playing with one hand?
I mean, it really does look like he's trying to play this game one-handed.
No, he 100% is. I know this because I've done it before when I was busy, like dealing with the cat or drinking.
Is that what it looks like? No, it's not, because this is also how my son played the first time he was introduced to twin sticks. It's not just a one-handed thing. It's somebody who's not used to twin sticks on a controller. Because my son did the same thing the first time he played Doom.
Okay.
Now he can play Doom and Fortnite with the best of them. Yeah.
Wow.
So close.
Wow, I'm bad. I'm
See,
not even mediocre when it comes to first-person shooters, and I'm appalled.
The few times that we did get their gameplay, that is what we got. Shit like that, and it's like, okay, we know you never played the game until that night.
And the thing is, though, I don't think that's necessarily bad. I think that you should have a review for normies by normies, or people like my skill. Put in your skill level and then explain. And the thing is that actually will help us understand when you're giving your review or when you're writing your review what this is coming from. I don't want to hear a game on like Elden Ring or something like that from someone who's absolutely amazing, because I might go in there thinking I can play this game when in actuality, no, I can't. I suck. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna rage quit. I may break stuff.
Come from a lot of the time is their inability to play the game.
Yeah.
And when you can see it, you can go, okay.
Now
that's why it's a 5 out of 10. They can't aim. They can't do anything. And they have no idea how to jump. Okay.
And if that's the case, you want to know your skill level. I know my skill level is not very high. I know that I basically pass games by sheer determination. I never give up and I never surrender. But
how's those brushes in Okami coming?
Dude, I hate the brushes in Okami. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Zio, she has so much trouble with it, and I'm just like,
I know. I watched.
But no, it's well, actually no, it's with the controller though. Like the controller doesn't work very well with it.
And are you sure? Are you sure? Because I am D-pad chat.
Well, no, I'm using it on my Switch controller, and it's not great.
Yeah, I don't think it works really well with the Switch.
No, it's bad. It's just no fun. So when I switched over to keyboard and mouse though for the brush, it was fine. Just I don't like to. I will say I don't do things well on a timer. I'm not that person. Like if you say hurry up, I don't know my name anymore. Like it's a problem. I can't. I cannot do things on a timer. I'm terrible.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Maybe we should play Gartic Phone.
What?
Garlic what?
So remember I said earlier in Discord that when I ask people to play Gartic Phone, they run in terror. It is a game where you have to draw art on a timer.
I don't like being timed. I just don't. It's not my thing.
I can draw stick figures.
No, that's fine. You get a prompt that other players make, and you draw it.
I think I know what game you're talking about now.
There's two of them. There's Scriblio and Gartic Phone. Both are free. Anyway,
it's time to segue into something else. If you didn't hate Nintendo enough at this point over the Palworld stuff, well, let's hate them some more. Nintendo's going after YouTubers that show off emulated game footage now.
I don't know if they can actually do that.
I don't think they can.
Well, it doesn't matter because YouTube's still going to pull it when they submit a copyright claim and destroy your channel.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't be on YouTube anyway. Anytime somebody says boo, they're going to take your stuff down.
Yeah, that's why I'm on. That's why I'm on
Rumble.
Rumble has it right. If somebody makes a claim, they don't lock your stuff. The claim has to be proved before they take any action.
Yeah, you have the burden of proof as the plaintiff.
But Nintendo's arguably the most protected publisher out there when it comes to copyright. Over the past few years, promising fan-made games have been shut down. Various emulators have received cease and desist, and even bigger companies have been targeted by Nintendo. As Palworld developer Pocket Pair now finds itself embroiled in a legal battle with the platform over its patent infringement, which I think is utterly ridiculous.
There are a lot of happy accidents
Bob
in
Ross
that
playing the
bracket.
game.
Oh yeah.
He would win every time. Anyway.
No, he wouldn't, because he believes in happy accidents. There are a lot of accidents, and the game is like, no, we don't accept your accidents. They don't believe in happy accidents at all. They're like, no, be precise.
Oh, playing Chad's game, it might actually enjoy happy accidents.
What I sneezed.
Happy little trees too. I'm pretty sure he painted all the places where he left his victims. But anyway, however,
wasn't he like a sniper in a war or something?
That was Mr. Rogers.
Oh, okay.
He was a Navy SEAL.
I thought that Bob Ross also was in war or something, and he was
Bob Ross. I know more about.
From what I remember, he had like anger issues of some sort, and then he like mellowed TF out. So,
and now we have happy little accidents.
Well, we had, but
happy little
that's right. Had
happy little trees.
Yeah.
All right.
However, Nintendo appears to have somehow upped its game in recent months, cracking down much harder on emulators. To prove the point, it appears as though the publisher is now targeting YouTubers that show off emulated game footage in their videos, first reported in Time Extension, popular YouTube Retro Game Core, who reviews retro systems designed to emulate old games. He has claimed he's been specifically targeted by Nintendo. According to the Retro Games, in a statement posted on the channel's community page, Twitter, Nintendo has issued 2 copyright strikes on his videos recently. The latest being a video showcase emulated Wii U footage. Then he explained that he's mulling over the possibilities of filing counterclaim, but is reluctant to go up against companies. Well, yeah, Nintendo will completely crush you if they actually follow through with it.
And they tend to actually follow through.
And that's the problem this guy is now running into, is if he does a counterclaim, Nintendo will steamroll him and he won't even get into a court to see his day in court. He'll just get steamrolled in fees.
Yeah.
With 2 copyright strikes to the name, third one potentially having the ability to shut down his channel, yada yada. We know how that works.
So basically, Nintendo did this solely because it stopped at 2, because they were like, you stop now, we don't crush you.
Yeah, I have a feeling that was a purposely decisive strike. Considering we're talking about a retro channel, it probably has plenty of videos that they could strike.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo really, really hates emulators, and I really hate that Nintendo hates emulators, because emulation keeps Nintendo games alive, especially the games that they will never sell again.
Well, what's funny is that there's I forget what game or games it was, but they actually went to a ROM site and ripped their own games from it.
It was a Mario game and then another game.
Yeah.
They ripped it straight from a ROM site because they couldn't find the originals anymore, but they were also putting it up on their Nintendo thingy.
Yeah.
Their Switch thing. Yeah. And I mean, the thing is that, so I'm in a awkward, not awkward space, but I'm in a less of the cool kids table on this one, just because I'm like, well, if it's their thing and they made it, that's kind of my thing. When it comes to emulation, I love the idea of emulation. I love the freedom of it, but this is still their stuff. So
well, here's the problem. It's their stuff, but at the same time, if they don't give you anywhere to buy said stuff,
yeah. But that's the thing, is that, again, that's still their call. If they make a thing and they don't want to let anybody play it ever, that's their deal.
That may be their deal, but I still vehemently disagree with it. Like, I can understand.
I think it's dickish.
Well, I can understand that, you don't want your Switch stuff emulated, even though we still can, by the way. I get that, because it is the thing that is current. It is out there. However, when you start going back, 64, GameCube, Advance.
But don't they try to sell you that stuff through their Nintendo?
Not much of it. That's the thing. That's where the Nintendo fanboys like to come in. and they go like, well, you could just 20 games out of a library of thousands.
Let me put this into perspective real quick. Okay. As a quick story, my mom was like, hey, I got this game. Do you want it? Because they don't, my parents, God bless them, but they don't know. I own this game right here. Okay. Just so we're clear, it's not an empty thing. Here is the physical card of Mario Strikers Battle League. Okay. Physically own this.
Yeah.
It is my right to have this on emulation to preserve the physical media. Now, this has been settled for like a long time that emulating stuff that you own is not illegal in any way, shape, or form. What Nintendo is doing can be skewed as illegal because they are violating the rights of the. They're violating the rights of the consumer to do what they will with their property. Nintendo does not sell you a license to this game. They sell you a copy of the game. And that's where that's why they moved away from physical media, because then they can enforce license agreements instead of this physical copy.
Yeah, I don't know the law on when it comes to that sort of thing. I
had to learn it in college.
But I don't disagree. Like every DVD that I have is ripped onto my Plex server at home because I believe in both and I believe in ownership. And like I said, I don't like the idea of having to rent things. I don't like the idea of having to buy things retroactively. I think that it is a scuzzy practice and I don't like it. But there's a point where I'm like, well, you're free to be a dick with your own stuff, but the other people are stealing. And so that's where I'm kind of like in that whole catch-22. If you already own it, I think that you're kind of in a little bit more of a like a gray area to get like a copy that because you didn't buy an emulated copy what you could put on your computer. You bought the thing on the chip. And I think that you should be able to back that up somehow. But if they don't allow a way for you to do it and you can't figure out how to do it, somebody else emulating it, putting a version of it out there is
Nintendo
different.
has gone after people that sell peripherals that allow you to do it. Not just the sites, but the people that develop the
peripherals so you can take something that you got physically and put it on. But I'm like huge for video game preservation. So I'm pro emulation all day long. But it's one thing when Nintendo puts this game out. All right. And they've put this game out multiple times now. Have they not, Chad?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a
SNES,
newer version of it that you can go and download that's like on the Switch. It's available. If they don't want people to, share this ROM out of the original, fine. That's okay. That's whatever. Meanwhile, a game like this, you can't fucking find this thing anywhere now. This doesn't exist anywhere.
Yeah.
Except for in this cartridge.
Yeah.
Or through emulation.
Also, I want to point this out. Nintendo is the publisher of a lot of these games, not the production of those games. There's a lot of third-party games that Nintendo tries to overreach on and be like, those are ours because they came out for the SNES. No, they are the property of the studio that developed them, but because you are the producer, you're trying to overexert your authority as the producer, which they do not have the right to do.
And I think actually Capcom owns this one. I think
is Dragon Quest. Yeah,
this is Dragon Warrior Monsters, but it is derived from the Dragon Quest series. It's a spinoff that is more Pokemon oriented, by the way. It's the Dragon Quest version of this game here.
Zio, don't say that. Good Lord, you're trying to get Capcom sued.
Yeah, but then you also have games like this too.
Yeah.
This is the Sega Master System. This has a re-release that is really damn good, by the way.
Be right back.
This game here, I just blew the cartridge. Anyway, habit.
No, I
But
understand.
that game has a re-release that you can buy on Steam right now. Really damn good re-release. The studio who did that, fantastic job. You should go get it. But yeah,
and I think, and it's not that I don't understand that. I understand that absolutely, and I think that it's good for them to actually do that. And if they want to make some dollar dues on it, fine. But the thing is that if they're doing nothing on it, I think that that's a dick move. But it is their right to do nothing, I think, or to say, well, you can't do that now. Until they say that you can't do something, I think that you should do all that you can. But yeah,
but
I dislike it. Let's put it that way. I dislike it, but I'm like, yeah, it's your stuff. You could take it is your ball. You can take it and go home, and you can put it in your closet, and nobody ever plays the game again. I think that that's not good for you, and eventually, people are going to be like, you know what, your games aren't that good.
Yeah, and Sky says Nintendo should not be allowed to do. People have a right to preserve their own video games. Absolutely right. And even those games they don't own at this point, when they're as old as these here, I think they should have the right to be able to have access to it if Nintendo's not going to be, reselling them anytime. But yeah, this idea of going after somebody who shows emulated footage, like if I want to play this game right here, I think the only way I can play it is through emulation on my computer. Yeah. That's the only way to play this particular game. This is a Square Enix game.
Yeah.
I mean, technically back then it was Squaresoft, if anyone was curious. But yeah, this is a Square Enix game.
So I think
the only way for me to play it is through emulation, and Nintendo does not have the right to come through and strike your shit just because you're playing an old game.
So I think that's now I believe I concur with that, where if it's not a game that Nintendo is even involved in, it's like, well, it came out on our platform, so what? But is it your game? Like, do you have the only do you have the authorship of it? If the author decided to come out and be like, I made this game and I want to remaster it and put it on everything, could they do that? Because if they can, then you have no case. So my thing is, like, as a person who makes something, or as a company that makes something, you can do what you want with your stuff, even if it means that you're going to be a greedy guts and hoard it in your own closet and nobody ever gets to use it again. I don't like it, but that's fine. But the thing is that if they didn't make it, if it's not even their property, I don't know what they're just trying to be dickholes at that point.
Yeah, and this kind of a bummer. Is so reminiscent though to the Nintendo partnership program. It feels like, if anyone remembers,
I don't like
that.
it when people come out with things and say, "Oh, we're going to be partners." But no, we're not.
Back when Nintendo decided to go ahead and start embracing Let's Plays and stuff like that, they came out on YouTube and it's like, we're going to have a Nintendo partnership program where Nintendo takes this hefty chunk of the video's revenue, and the only way you could play anything on a Nintendo system was by partnering with Nintendo for their Nintendo Partner Program. And they did that, I think, for about 2 years before they came out and was like, so we were wrong.
Yeah.
Because people literally, outside of the few channels who were dedicated pure Nintendo channels, nobody played a Nintendo game for like 2 years straight, practically.
Yeah, and it winds up
it hurt them bad.
So
I think.
Yeah, and the thing is that, I think that, like you were saying, emulation kept this stuff alive. You're like, oh, you want to kill it? You want to kill it? Let them have it then.
Yeah,
let them have what they're asking for.
I feel like this is just Nintendo. I feel like Nintendo has been making moves. They're at this point where they are such a juggernaut. They think they can't be, taken down.
Well, I think it's that, and I think that also they are determined to keep their part of the video game market. See, they know that they can't compete with Sony and Xbox. They just can't, when it comes to graphics and when it comes to hardware and things like that. Like, they have cute designs and they have fun little stuff and like stuff that girls like, or just people who aren't into like the prime demographic of I don't know, teenage guy, or early 20s guy. Like, that's like the core group. and carries over after that, but still. But I think that Nintendo is trying to make sure that they keep their corner and they keep it as strong as they can. They want to keep a monopoly on it so that they don't have to worry about trying to fight with other people when they don't have what it takes to, like, if they went up head to head against Sony and Sony started biting into their market, let's say that their games were not so exclusive, I think that Nintendo would die pretty quickly. I don't think that they can compete with Sony. I don't think they can compete even with Xbox. They're just not built that way.
Like, I'm pretty sure I said this in the past. Like, the only thing that really keeps Nintendo afloat at this point is the fact that they are exclusive to themselves.
Yeah.
And they do have a console that has a good gimmick at this point.
Yeah, and the thing is that they it's because of the properties that they release on it. I don't care about Nintendo as a company. I do care about Legend of Zelda, and I like Mario. That's pretty much it.
It's one of those things that even if they did come out and cross-platform it, it will probably do good, but the Switch sales would suffer immensely.
Oh my gosh,
whatever their console would be, it would just practically flatline.
Yeah.
Probably overnight if suddenly the next Zelda game was coming out on Steam, Switch, Xbox, PS5.
Yeah.
You know, the Switch just
yeah, and they would lose so many dollar dues. They cannot compete, so they have to have a monopoly or they die.
But
right,
at the same time, they are making lots of moves, I feel like, that might be sending them on a slow decline at this point.
Yeah, so their fear is making them irrational, but if they're going to do dick things, then I believe that they should get it good and hard. Just let them have what they're asking for at this point. But yeah, I had a heart out, so I got a jet, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Well, Meg is going to head out. Her link is in the description down below. You can go check her out. She does Let's Plays and stuff, and then shows up every Friday for a little bit.
Yeah.
Here. So.
Usually the whole 2 hours, but today I gotta go celebrate a niece's life. So.
Alrighty then. Have fun with that.
Right,
I will take over with Chad. Bye-bye. So let's segue into the next thing real quick. Because we're going to talk about censorship this time. And speaking of Dragon Quest, because that game. But anyway, anti-censorship interview between Dragon Quest creator and Dragon Ball editor wiped from the internet, spokesman claims. The video has been spread in a manner that is far removed from its true meaning. So apparently there was this interview that went on, and one of them, because I can't remember who was who at the moment. My brain is still fried. Was complaining about censorship in our neck of the woods. Things like body type 1, body type 2, which of course is also one of those things I've railed about because it makes literally no sense whatsoever. Heck, I just played Throne and Liberty. That name does not roll off the tongue very well. Last night,
you boomer.
Yeah, for the first time, and they have a body type 1 and a body type 2, and it's male or female. Now, I understand that we can't offend anybody, but I don't understand why they're not more offended by the fact that it's 1 and 2 at this point, because the whole thing you're trying not to offend is the transes. And the transes, of course, are transitioning from body type 1 to 2 or from 2 to 1. Why it can't just stay male or female at that point. But we also are talking about the same people who want to tell me there's 50,000 genders out there.
Hey, real quick.
But there's also not 50,000 body types to go with it.
Yeah. Did you get Skype Woods thing on YouTube?
Skype Woods, what? No.
He said Nintendo should not be allowed to do people.
Sky Woods. Yeah, I already read that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you said Skype Woods, and I was like, Skype? Who? What?
Yeah.
Why Skype?
Yeah, sorry about being away. So my stomach is not happy with me.
Oh, that's fine. But anyway, they was upset about the fact that they're having to censor their game because of people over here. And personally, I think they should just tell them to fuck off and just not do it.
They tried to get rid of that video, by the way, of the...
Yeah, they did. And then somebody re-uploaded it, and then Elon Musk retweeted it. And then it went far-reaching.
I will say this. the more I learn about Elon Musk, the more I'm like, you're a naughty little man, aren't you?
But in the aftermath of the two extreme creators saying the internet ablaze with their criticism of America's content standard, nearly all traces of the recent anti-censorship discussion held between Dragon Quest creator Yujo and former Shonen Jump editor-in-chief Kazuhiko. Yeah, I can't pronounce names. Anyway, have been forcibly scrubbed from the internet. As previous reports during an interview given to the Japanese video game news outlet Dinfeme, Nico Game Magazine, during a recent Tokyo Game Show 2024, the two were asked by their host about the censorship changes made to the female warrior, the female gadabout, and the male monster wrangler class designs of the upcoming Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, which, by the way, if you missed it, I am not a fan of the remake, and it has nothing to do with censorship. It is purely the aesthetics. I hate it. I can't stand it. It grates me to no end. Anyway, just in case anyone was wondering.
Sometimes it can be done right. A lot of the times it comes off kind of
it's never done right, in my opinion.
Star Ocean, the second story.
It was not done like that. I mean, I guess if it had an HD remake that I never played.
It did. It does. I played it.
I wouldn't have played
stream of it.
Oh, well, then I probably wouldn't have played it. Oh, wait. No, I did see you play that. Is that 2D on 3D? I thought it was 3D. Or just 2D on 2D.
Well, do you mean the battles, or do you mean like the whole world?
The stuff that you're interacting with. Star Ocean. The second story. R.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's see.
I'm not sure if I understand what you're...
Yeah, that looks 3D to me.
So what do you mean by 2D? I don't think I'm connecting the dots with what you're saying here.
The sprites are 2D?
Yes.
While the world is 3D?
Yes.
Yeah, these look 3D.
They're not. That is 2D sprites. With animation. Yeah. They're just that damn good.
Could I just not tell the difference? Then I guess maybe you're right. There is.
You can pull up my live stream and see actual movement.
Somebody's
Lord knows I need the views.
Yeah, you're right. I just couldn't tell it on my phone. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
But see, here's the thing. The original game was like this.
No, it was the same battle system, but its art style couldn't do that.
The original was just like that, except I think it might have been painted backgrounds.
You see, the older stuff is different when it does that sort of thing. It was Final Fantasy VII style.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a totally different thing. In fact, I feel like these sprites look better than the remake. Anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah. By the way, I think that in the remake you can actually switch between the sprite sets.
Oh, that's neat. That's one of the things I really like about the remake of Wonder Boy 3.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you can change between the old style and the new style. And the new style looks just fine.
They do that with Secret of Mana also. I'm pretty sure like you can switch between the old style that it looks like. So you essentially got the old game, or you can play it in the new style.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of reactions, like you can be too revealing, where he said, as per transcript in the interview provided by Japanese video game news source Game Talk in the subsequent machine translation by Google Translate. Google Translate. Anyway, pressed in turn by Chris, I mean, it's fiction, but isn't it fine for you, the protagonist, to go on an adventure in it? Is that wrong? It's a game. It's non-fiction.
It's not real life, everybody.
Yeah. A virtual experience of fiction, so I think it would be fun. I don't know. I really don't know, though. If you reveal too much, the target age group will increase, or maybe it won't be suitable for all ages.
Dude, it never was. And the people that are going to play this game are not going to be kids.
Oh, yeah, probably not. Not in this day and age. Because chances are the people who are going to play this are fans of the old one. Yeah. However, they played it as kids. Yeah. Which, is this weird area. It's like you're making a game, a remake.
Video games
the target audience, or the audience that originally played it, is going to play it again. They wanted it back. They want it again. But you're not going to target kids of today, because kids of today are too busy with Fortnite.
Yeah, their attention span is like non-existent.
Yeah. Jumping off the colleague's point, Toshiyama then explained, compliance is an absolute god. There's something like evil in the name of good. It is not like everyone doesn't feel uncomfortable, because not everyone has different ideas about what is good and bad.
You know what's kind of creepy is
at the root of everything, there's a few things that you absolutely must not do. And if you don't do those things, everything else will be fine, right? That doesn't exist.
Okay, you know what's very creepy about that quote?
Mm-hmm.
Compliance is an absolute god. There is something like evil in the name of good. Dude, that is kind of describing Lucifer. Like that you could use that part of the quote and apply that to Satan, and it would be an apt descriptor.
Which is another thing that they had to change too. It's like I think clerics or something, they have like crosses and stuff. Like that stuff had to be removed from a lot of these games too, which is ridiculous. That's even a thing that has to be removed.
They hate Christianity, dude.
I know, but like, still.
Honestly,
the fact that of all the things to censor, you want to censor the cross from a class whose whole purpose
is
to get holy light from the God above to heal you and resurrect you.
And this isn't new. I mean, they censored the same thing here in the West in the original Zelda game.
I can understand changing that for, say, a release in Iran or something. But to the rest of the world, Europe and America, that's stupid.
Look at Zelda, man. The original name for the magic book that you get in Zelda 1 is the Bible, and it had a cross on it.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, one of the shields, I think, had a cross on it at one point.
Link's original shield had a cross on it. And he's canonically a Christian. And before they added the goddesses and bullshit.
Yeah, they changed it up. But I mean, in a way, they did it in a good way, because now it's given its own story that is separate. So, the idea of sex education that comes from religious concepts, a reference to Americans' Puritanism rather than a dig at a group of mentally or of progressive activists, a reference of Americans' Puritanism rather than a dig at the group mentally of progressive activists. From the West is in America, right? I feel like I'm reading broken English.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to do.
follow it, but
he continued, the idea of compliance is really narrow. When publishing comics over there, you have to separate them by age. Yeah, unfortunately, that's how we do things. If Shonen Jump manga, you can't publish it unless it's 13 years old or older. You have to do all the retakes. You have to take out insurance in case of a lawsuit. It's really troublesome. That's why Japan is badly influenced by that. That sucks. Insurance?
Yeah.
Damn, we fucked up over here in America.
Well, it's because...
But that explains why we don't get that many imports from Japan, which Japan makes a lot of damn good games.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't get most of them.
Yeah, because
I mean, I don't know how many times I'll be listening to a video about games we never got, and I'm like, "Oh, that would be awesome. Where was?" And then it turns out it was a Japan only release, and it's like, really?
Yep.
Another reason for me to learn Japanese.
Yeah, it's really one of those things where, and it's not the gaming community that caused this. It's the fucking pearl clutching a-holes that are part of like the ESRB boards and stuff. And they're like, oh,
it's the woke community, which is where we go back to the type 1 and type 2 thing I was talking about.
Okay, so it's the woke community, but let's go prior to that, because there's a foundation that was built for the woke community to use and use it as a bludgeon. And that was all these moms that didn't want to parent their kids and just was like, threw them in front of a GTA. And then they saw what GTA was and were like, oh my goodness, they sold this to my baby boy. Like, no, you bought it. You're responsible. Zio, you know the whole routine.
That would be the Christians and parent your fucking kids. Anyway.
Coming from a Christian,
that was
by the way, I am a Christian.
I know but that was part of the satanic panic.
Yeah, and it was bullcrap.
And you've got that senator from California or whatnot who was having a holy crusade about video games, especially GTA. But no, I mean that's where a lot of that stuff came from. Is parents didn't pay attention.
GTA, dude.
Yeah, and then they found out that this was that, and that was in there, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, why would this?" And it's like you bought a game that was rated T for teen, or rated M for mature. Pay the fuck attention. And being somebody who worked in electronics for a long time for Kmart, I don't know how many times I've had somebody, want to buy a game for their 8-year-old or something like that who's standing right there, and I'll look at it and I'm like, are you sure you want to buy this? And they're like, well, yeah, that's what he wants. And it's like, it's rated M for mature. Okay, so how much is it? Okay, but please don't come back and yell at me when you run into the sex scene, please.
Did you actually say that?
For fuck's sake. Anyway.
Yeah.
By the way, which did happen.
I
got yelled at for selling a game to an adult for their child, and they were upset because they could have sex with strangers. Because they bought fucking GTA. Anyway.
Hot coffee. So
they came back and yelled at me, and it's like, I warned you.
Similar thing happened with God of War.
Yeah, look, I never played God of War, and I started playing it for the first time. And luckily, my kids weren't old enough to realize what I had on the screen. And there was just titties. And I was like, oh shit, this is not the game to play around the kids. Fuck, my bad. I immediately turned the channel. Turned the TV to another thing. I hate it when that, and I was like, fuck. Okay, God of War, play it with the kids not home.
Yeah.
Or asleep or something else. You can't play it around the kids. Take that one somewhere else. But anyway, closes out the portion of the interview. You can choose male or female protagonists, but you can't say that you choose a man or a woman. They are type 1 and type 2. And I wonder who on earth would complain if we made them male or female. I don't know.
Nobody would.
That's the problem. Like I was saying earlier, we played Thrones of Liberty and Liberty, right?
Yeah.
They have two types, type 1 and type 2. It's male or female. And then hell, playing Palworld, you got 4 types. Male, female, bulky female. That's it.
Well, no.
I don't understand.
No. You got it wrong on Palworld.
What?
Male 1, male 2, female 1, muscle mommy.
Okay. Well, muscle mommy. Anyway, and it's just like, why? It's like I feel like I would be more upset at the fact that they can't actually refer to it as male and female.
Yeah.
And it's to not to trigger somebody or whatever bullshit or offend them or whatnot. It's like, but who gets offended by that? It's just one of those things. It's like, I get it. You're trans. You're a trans man. Why do you not want to just pick a man at that point? That's what you are. That's what you want to be. Pick the man. Pick the male. Or vice versa. You don't need a type 1 or type 2 to make you feel validated.
The games are about fantasy. So wouldn't you want to live out your IRL fantasy in the game and pick whichever? I probably got you banned. I'm sorry. But wouldn't you want?
What'd you say?
Trans thing.
Well, I already said trans like 5 times.
Well, no, not
that. I mean,
type 2, male, female. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, if they were born a woman but are transitioning to a man, or born a man transitioning to a woman, wouldn't they want to live out that fantasy of them completing their transition in the game? It makes no sense to be thing 1, thing 2.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like I would be more offended at being thing 1 or thing 2, to be totally honest. But I don't know because I'm I'm not trans. But if you actually look at my play history, I like to play a lot of females. I might as well be at this point.
You probably get money.
Probably.
You
probably get monetized on YouTube then because there'll be a trans woman. Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, I mean, I could probably pull it off. I got the ears for it. No, wait, that's a furry. Shit. I don't know what I am now. Anyway, I am confused. Somebody help me. Send me an adult. Send me an adult. I'm confused. But anyway, I just feel like I would just be more, offended by the fact that, instead of giving you male 1 or male 2 or female, male or female, you're thing 1 or thing 2.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't understand why that was such a push. Because it's the same thing in every single game. Type 1, type 2, and it's clearly a male and a female.
Yeah, and it blows my mind that trans people would be upset about that, or that they're not upset about that because it's kind of condescending.
Personally, I think it's because they're fake. They're not really. And I'm sure I can get a lot of trouble by finishing that statement. But yeah, it's just they're not actually the thing, because actual people who are trans wouldn't get offended by it. Or would get. No, wait, I forgot. Anyway, point is, they would pick the male or female, whatever actually is assigned, or whatever it is that they feel that they are, Thanks, Alicio.
It's a bot, dude.
I know. Yeah. Sorry.
You want me to do the thing, or?
Yeah, go ahead and do the thing. I was reading that for a second. I was like, oh, it's one of those things. Okay, never mind. But yeah. I think it's time to segue into the next thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the TLDR, the creators came out and they don't understand the religion of the woke and why it's forcing them to censor their creations. And honestly, I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would just say F it and do it anyway.
Real quick, there's been a huge outcry for them to ignore the woke on.
Yeah.
So this might be flipping soon.
But yeah, they really do need to just ignore that and release it, because that's not what their fans want. I think if you are claiming to be a fan of something while also trying to say you're pro censorship of things in that property, you're not really a fan. You're nothing more than a tourist at that point. Anyway, so apparently a film company is suing Stella Blade for using similar names, claiming trademark violation.
This will be short.
Companies have filed trademarks. Do what?
This is going to be a short one.
Yeah. But an opposition has been filed against Shift Up Mark. Marks are both in Class 41. You must choose if your mark covers games, movies, boats, etc. Shift Up filed for a trademark in Japan in 2023, while the film company filed in June 2023. Stella Blade filed the graphic logo version of the trademark in May of 2024. Given the earlier filing date of Shift Up in a Class 41, I believe this is just a shakedown for money.
It is. I completely agree. This isn't protection of a
Stella
IP.
Blade. Oh, this is that Louisiana company?
Yeah.
Really? Oh. I meant to actually look to see what the fuck they actually sold.
Oh, I don't know.
In here? I want to do that. I meant to do that when I first Stella Blade.
Yeah, this just feels like a shakedown, though, to me. I completely agree with Grums.
Louisiana Stella Blade Company. Stella Blade LLC, Louisiana. Oh, it's a film producer. Duh.
Yeah.
Okay, film producer company suing Sony and Shift Up. I forgot that's what we just read. It was a film company. When I first heard about it, that was not part of the thing.
They made, though? That's the question.
But Stella Blade LLC, established in 2010, provides multimedia entertainment services, including film, documentaries, commercials, and music video production. The company has owned the domain stellablade.com since 2006 and has a registered trademark for its logo in Louisiana and Mississippi. Yeah, they actually might have a case. I'm not going to lie.
How so?
Well, depending on how it works, because I think what really sparked this off was the fact that people was leaving reviews for the game on their company thing because it was popping up. And as a result, they might actually be able to argue that there is a confusion going on there. And that's the problem. Otherwise, it may not be, because it is a film production company, a multimedia entertainment service company, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Stella Blade, the video game, is a video game.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. Technically separate in the copyright system, that they could technically both exist at the same time. But if you've got people leaving reviews for the game on your company thing, thinking you're the game, yeah.
Well, I mean, do you think they're leaving negative reviews? Look at Stellar Blade. I'm pretty sure it's going to be all positive.
No, it wasn't negative reviews, but apparently they did get hit with several reviews, so it caught their eye.
Okay, well, just ride the wave.
But it's whatever at that point. They may or may not have a thing. I don't know. But Shift Up is also a Japanese company, so
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
again, with Japanese law and stuff, it could be.
Well, this is.
I don't know. I know Grums is like it seems like a shakedown and stuff, and he lists this here, right?
Yeah.
And while the film company filed in June 2023, the problem is the film company's been around since 2006.
Yeah.
They can prove presence They can prove marketing. They can prove all that stuff that they've been around, even though they didn't file their trademark until like right after Shift Up filed one.
But even here's the thing,
and that is actually a part of copyright, that if you establish a presence long before the other thing shows up and establish, yeah, we've been in operation, you can snag the copyright from somebody.
Oh,
that's a legit thing.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Well, they could only snag it where the copyright exists, which is Louisiana.
Well, it would be the United States.
No, because the copyright only covers what, 2 states, I think it said.
Well, I'm pretty sure our patent system covers all 50 states.
Well, no, like specifically, it was filed for 2 states, Louisiana and whatever else it said there. So
it doesn't say anything about that.
Well, no, in the image you pulled up, you read it and said that it was filed.
Oh no, I was reading something on the other side of the screen here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. No, that was back when they started operations and stuff. That was a listing of their history.
Okay, but what I'm saying is still like, I don't think it would cover all 50 states because
it does. I mean, you file a patent in the United States, it covers the entire United States. Unless it is something super hyper specific to that state or something. Well, and even then, it probably still covers all 50 states.
What I'm saying is a Dunkin' Donuts in Ohio is not going to sue a Dunkin' Donuts in Georgia.
Well, no, because Dunkin' Donuts is the trademark. It's the IP. It's owned by Dunkin'.
Yeah, what I'm saying
is both the same people. Although somebody, if it's franchised,
that's what I'm
somebody
saying.
may have the franchise and they're running the franchise, but it is ultimately owned by Dunkin'. Because they are paying Dunkin' for the thing. I mean, that's how McDonald's makes most of its money, is it just essentially rents the land, and puts up a building on it. So when they franchise out, they make bank.
McDonald's has some is one of the biggest owners of land in the country.
Yeah, that's what I just said. They make all their money. They make a majority of their money from land that they own,
and they run
and they pass those costs off to the franchisees.
Look, I'm just trying to add shit to the live stream, okay?
Okay. Anyway, I don't know where this is going to go because we are talking about a Japanese company versus a US company again. And, again, Japanese law is also different than ours. So,
yeah, I think this is just going to fall off unless the company really wants to pay that money out.
I honestly don't think it's a shakedown. I think it's legitimate confusion, brand confusion. Because I did see the first thing I ran across this was the fact that they were having issues due to the fact that they were having reviews left for the video game on their stuff.
I didn't see that.
It was the thing. So I think it might have been legit brand confusion. They're like, what the fuck is this? What do you mean made a great game? I don't understand. And then looked into it and was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So,
what idiots are leaving review? Never mind.
Don't. We've seen the internet.
I've been on Twitter. I know what idiots. They're probably game journalists.
So apparently Ubisoft here. What do we got for Ubisoft? We got a few things for Ubisoft. So Ubisoft not only backed out of the Tokyo Game Show for 2024, but Insider Gaming claims that they have reached out to them and discovered that their press preview for Assassin's Creed Shadows has been canceled as well, or has been canceled, and the game will be delayed. Chad left. I was going to make him do that. Anyway, so apparently Assassin's Creed is getting delayed. They're also decided not to show up at the game show, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And Ubisoft board is launching an investigation into the company because that's a thing that happened. But Yeah, it has been announced the Ubisoft Executive Committee and the Board of Directors will launch an investigation and review of the company. The news came via company finance statements and updates, which include a delay of Assassin's Creed Shadow and the announcement of Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. By the way, for those of you who don't know yet. The statement reads, in the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the Executive Committee, under the supervision of the Board of Directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating their strategy path towards a high-performance or higher-performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. Finally, let me address some of the polarizing comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to create games for the fans and the players that everyone can enjoy. So why are they making that? Because of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Shadows, we all know how that goes. Okay. And they've pulled out of the Japanese thing. If you read journalists, the professional journalists out there, apparently it's just a bunch of neckbeards in Wisconsin or whatnot who's using Google Translate to be angry in Japan for them. In reality, that's just not the case. We have seen, and we've talked about this in the past, where apparently even somebody in Japanese government, their version of our Congress type thing, is actually wanting to look into it and investigate this sort of thing because apparently the company is Ubisoft is essentially just blatantly changing their history and stuff like that. They've run into other controversies, of course, where they've used like the Tory gate, a broken Tory gate from the bombs falling during a particular war. As promotional material, you've got the sword that belongs to a certain One Piece character, I think it was, as well as or not properly use of kanji and props from other properties being passed off as Assassin's Creed things.
And they also didn't they also use the design from like a dance troupe or something? Like blatant copyright infringement.
Something like that. I don't quite remember, but they've been in hot water. Star Wars Outlaws has underperformed. Assassin's Creed is pretty much, I think, might be their Hail Mary at this point because Ubisoft has not been doing well lately.
Yeah, you might want to look at their stock because we could easily buy some.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they'll survive.
yeah, no, I don't think they will. So here's another thing somebody pointed out.
No.
Why did they add George Floyd into the game?
Which game?
Assassin's Creed. They actually did a side-by-side comparison, and the character in there is almost identical to George Floyd.
Yeah, probably a political statement. Although the company itself says it's not making any specific agendas. Push any specific agendas, and that's fine. This is from the board, right? These are the higher ups, the CEO, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And to them, they're not. The problem is they do hire activists, and activists like to push agendas. So it's no surprise that they are pushing agendas. Also, I think they took the rap out of Yosuke's.
They did.
Or hip hop or whatever it was out of Yosuke's theme song, essentially, which just felt out of place.
It was very out of place, but also
very out of place. But apparently, black man means it has to be hip hop or rap because listen, the activists who aren't racist love to do racist stereotypes. It's a fucking fact at this point. It really is.
Yeah.
It's just a simple fucking fact that they love to do racist stereotypes of all their non-white characters while also trying to claim that they're not racist at all.
Yeah.
And it drives people nuts. Anyway.
Well, fun fact, by the way, I don't know. I don't think it'll be in the next one. Yeah. So real quick before we move They're talking about removing Sasuke entirely.
Well, I've heard rumors of people talking about that, but I don't think they're going to be able to. They're not going to do that because he is a main character. The game is practically complete.
Well, I heard that's what the postponement was
There's no way they have enough time. Even if they postpone it, they would have to postpone it for like a couple of years or maybe a year or so because they're going to have to remodel, remocap, revoice act, rewrite almost everything in the game that involves Yosuke in order for that to happen. And him being a main character.
Supposedly they're going with the girl and writing him out.
I doubt that because that would cut their game in half. I think they're purely polishing at this point.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft needs to polish because we saw what was it, Star Wars Outlaws?
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Bush of Invisibility in that game. They need to polish. They don't want a repeat of the Bush of Invisibility. You know, you thought a Cloak of Invisibility was OP. Wait until you find the Bush of Invisibility.
Is that Hermione?
They're everywhere. But anyway, so also Ubisoft is doing the failure speed run. Any percent, by the way? Still.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 different ways of dealing with a similar situation. So Ubisoft execs says gamers need to get comfortable with not owning your games. Ubisoft director of subscription says the gamers need to start feeling comfortable with not owning the games they are playing. We looked at the consumer behavior and how people were interacting with our offers, and we saw an opportunity for us to evolve, explains Philippe Tremblay, director of subscriptions at Ubisoft. Meanwhile, you've got Steam on the other side. We're letting you and 5 other family members play each other's game library all at the same time.
Yep.
Which is nice. Especially when you've got a house full of gamers coming on now.
Yeah, you got that going, don't you?
Yeah, working on it. But yeah, Ubisoft is clearly running the N% speed run at this point. If Assassin's Creed does not sell well, I do predict Ubisoft is going to be in a very tight spot.
Yeah, and it's not a good thing.
We could see Microsoft buying Ubisoft.
No, not Microsoft.
Well, maybe not Microsoft. Microsoft expended a lot of money in its recent acquisitions over the past few years, but
there's already somebody interested.
Who?
Tencent.
Tencent.
Mm-hmm.
Can Tencent buy Ubisoft?
Given how bad they're doing, probably.
Well, I mean, Tencent money-wise, yeah, but that's a Chinese company. It's different to own shares in the company and actually owning the company itself. There's laws that kind of prevent that, I think.
We'll see.
But then again, if they buy like a 90%, stake in Ubisoft, I don't know. We'll have to see. But also at the same time, that's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it used to be. I'm not going to lie. Tencent owning stuff was, but at the same time, when China has been getting kind of serious about gaming,
yeah,
they've got a company that made Wukong.
That's true.
As much as I'm on the F China train, the what is it? Fuck China. And I've got this whole thing where I just piss on China. And there's some reasons to hate China with, concentration camps and stuff like that for certain individual groups and things. In the gaming sphere, China is starting to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And that is bad. It's like, guys, we're over here letting China beat us in the gaming market. You done fucked up. It's one thing for Japan and Korea to beat us, but China? Come on, guys. We need to step up our game at this point.
Yep.
Let's get closer to the end. God of War Ragnarok now has mods that remove the PSN account requirements of PC because fuck Sony.
Yes.
We can. Sony's not a protected class. I can say fuck Sony.
So you think.
So I think. Don't.
So we just go offline.
Yeah. But no, but seriously. God of War Ragnarok came out. There's of course mods to remove PSN and stuff like that. And then a nice meme. Sony, you cracked our game. That's piracy. PC gamers. Mod. It's called mod. Welcome to PC bitches.
Wait. Zia, hang on.
Yeah.
So I would like to take this time to say that it's not your game, Sony. It's me not being able to find the freaking sound effect is what it is.
Do. Go ahead and play it for yourself, why don't you?
You know what? You know what, Zia?
There we go. I was gonna say, is it coming or not?
What is S? I was trying to think of what it started with.
All right, let's try this again, shall we? Or have you not found it?
I've not found it, but it. You know what? I bet it's in music, not sound effects.
All right, somebody help chat out real quick in the chat.
There it is. Okay. All right, ready?
That is not the right thing. There we go.
Okay. It's not your game, Sony. It's our game.
You know, if you would have said that, I could have just played this over here. Here we go. For those who have never seen the Blazer or the China Safe Blizz opening. But yes, that's right. It's now ours. And that's the thing. When you come to PC, we have mods. And outside of Nexus mods banning anything that takes out certain things and stuff.
Like, we can do it without Nexus.
But anyway, aside from that, the modding community will thrive. And any game you put out that we can mod, we're going to definitely mod it. And we're probably going to mod it to to the dismay of all of Sony. In ways you don't want it to be modded. So that just happens. And to be totally honest, we also emulate a lot of your stuff too. So have at it. But for the final thing for the day, Hasbro. Oh, this is hilarious. Anyway, so for those who don't know, there's a lot of people really upset at Hasbro, preferably or specifically artists. Their artists and other artists because they keep wanting to use AI and they keep coming out and saying, we're not going to use AI. You're okay. You're safe. Don't worry about it. Then they fucking keep doing it. And then they get butthurt over it. And then they're like, we're not going to use AI. And now you've got the Hasbro CEO says AI will become a core part of Dungeons and Dragons. Congratulations, everybody. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh, we've already been using it too. They just finally ripped the mask off instead of trying to appease these people. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to do this now.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so My thumbnails are not exactly, shall we say, original.
Okay.
99% of them are go on Google or DuckDuckGo, look up title screen of game, copy, paste, slap things on top of it. Don't you think that these artists are likely doing maybe a little something similar? They're reusing assets that they've already done and just slightly tweak them. Here's a barbarian, right? Let me change the color palette. Now he's a barbarian for the new age.
No, they're not doing that. Anyway,
are you sure? Because
I'm pretty sure they're not really doing that. I mean, they have new art that they work on.
Okay, then they do. They're paid for it.
I mean, at the same time, there's also a lot of things that have AI tools to help and make things easier, like Adobe and stuff like that. But now, what's funny is you've got this guy here, this Corey, who I'm sure is an artist or whatnot, considering he's going to do full stop canceling any projects I have with Wizard and dropping them as a client if they are in fact using generated AI in-house in the writing and art production of their games and books. Yes, they have been. They've been doing it because they got called out for like the past year or so. Every time they release an image, like let's see, Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro. Hasbro owns Magic the Gathering. Wizards, or wait,
Wizard owns Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. Sorry, trying to figure it out. But they've been doing it because they released that set of Magic cards with an AI image.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
And then people were all upset over it, and they were like, "We're sorry." Shit, I should have that in this so I can just.
You need to have that like bookmarked.
I need you to send me that so I can just put it into the thing here and just play it every time we have to say we're sorry for a company. Anyway,
where do you want
it? Send it to me wherever you can. I can download it and upload it later.
All right.
I'll find it wherever you send it. But yeah, then they came out. They're like, "We're sorry. We didn't mean to. This was an accident." And it's like, and I'm pretty sure I said it back then. It's like, it wasn't an accident, guys. They're still going to do it, and you guys are getting all butthurt over it. It's just a matter of time before they covertly go all AI with it when they realize that they can do that in a fraction of the time and still get something good out of it. And, they have to pay like one guy who knows how to properly write to the AI to get what it is that they need out of it.
Yep.
Instead
Discord, by the way.
Artists. That's it. They don't need you anymore at this point.
You're out of a job. Learn to code.
Learn to code. Not coal. Code.
No, because I give more respect to minors.
But yeah, I just found it really interesting that people were all upset about this. But it's not fair to in-house creative writers, artists, and communities for the CEO to shove the shit down everyone's throat when we could not possibly be more clear on not wanting this shit anywhere near us. This is absolutely hard line for me on choose to work with.
So here's my
here nor there. But the CEO also said this insane thing about having 30 to 40 people he regularly plays D&D with. I'm probably okay. Is this that one statement? I'm probably more excited though about the playful elements of AI. He said, "I play with probably 30 or 40 people regularly. There's not a single person who doesn't use AI somehow for either the campaign development or character development." All right, so I've never used AI for D&D. Not personally, anyway. But I have thought of the idea. And I'm not going to lie. It's probably a good one. What is that one? Like ChatGPT or something?
ChatGPT. You know what?
You can do
go to Brook real quick, the X one, and
go to
type
what?
in.
Go to what?
Never mind, I'll do it.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
Grok, the XAI, literally on your screen.
Well, I don't know what is going to pop up, and I don't want to just pop it up.
I'll do it.
But listen, you just all right. I've got it popped up. Now what?
Type in write me a D&D scenario.
See, this is why I didn't want to do it on stream because I can't spell scenario. The Whispers of Eldridge Grove. Holy fuck. I should have been using this. The adventurers find themselves in the quiet village of Eldwood, nestled at the edge of Eldridge Grove, a forest known for its beauty and strange haunting melodies. Drift. Okay. Setting. Eldridge Village, a small rustic human settlement surrounded by farmland. Hooks. The village elder, an old druid. Explain. That was so quick. Guys, I should have been doing that this whole damn time.
Wait, Zio?
I'm going to have to start using AI.
Hang on, Zio. Let me present real quick because since I'm a paid douchebag on here,
well,
I actually get access to the higher tier of Grook.
Well, I'm also a paid douchebag.
Oh, you are?
Is that not the higher tier? Was there another version of Grook?
There's a couple versions. I'm using Grook 2 beta, which is supposed to be their more intelligent version.
Yeah, that's what I had up.
Let's see. I put write me a D&D scenario with a sci-fi setting.
Well, do you have it up? You can just present.
I'm already presenting. You have to allow it.
Oh, do I? Oh, okay. My bad. I thought you could do that.
No.
I'll let you present for a second.
Echo the Void. The game takes place aboard a Starfarer's Hope colossal colony ship. Oh my goodness. Plot hook distress signal.
There it is. Okay.
This is really good.
All right. So here's the thing with AI. You've got a channel right here. Sci-Fi Next X. You can't see that because sorry. I forgot you were presenting. Anyway, so there's this channel right here. I ran across it a while ago, and I started listening to the stories on it because it's one of those, story things. And since
you put on in the background while you do things.
Yeah. And what I quickly learned about this, and I'm not sure what happened or why they just dropped off here, because it wasn't doing half bad until they stopped uploading. But anyway, I mean, you can see I listened to that, and there's others here that I had listened to as well. It's just not showing them. But they were popping them off really quickly. And we're talking about 30 minutes to 40 minutes plus of video here.
Yep.
All right?
Yeah, I can already tell it's AI just from the thumbnail.
All of this is AI.
Yeah.
The story is AI. The narrator is AI. The image is AI. All of this is AI. Every bit of it. And at first, I didn't notice, right? Because for the most part, I'm listening because I don't really watch or anything. But, having an image that is an AI isn't that big of a deal. And the narrator doesn't sound like a typical AI voiceover either for a lot of this stuff. But then while listening to it, I realized that it was repeating certain things, like entire paragraphs. Like there was this one about humanity did this thing, blah, blah, blah. And then, the whatever her name was, she's like the president of the world or whatnot, gets up and does a speech.
Yeah.
And she does a speech. And then later on in the story, she does another speech, on the TV because it's like, and then I was looking at the TV and it's the exact same word from word again. And then she'll do another speech, and then it's the same speech over and over again. And I'm like, okay, you're repeating yourself. You're not real at this point. I know you're not. This is purely written by an AI. But then I noticed it was getting better. And then the speeches are certain things that normally would have repeated, like how it would describe a certain battle, or how it would describe that dude was feeling run down or something, but it would do it exactly line for line how it did 20 minutes ago. And then it started to get better and change it up. And I was like, oh, fuck. But yeah, let me try and pull this up just to listen to it for a second.
0.9% of you are not subscribed. More than just a pet. He was a symbol of the bond between humanity and its companions, embodying the spirit of loyalty and courage. One fateful day, as the team worked on their experiment.
That is not the typical AI people are used to hearing voice-wise, and it changes on some of these. Like sometimes it's a woman, or another guy reading it. Like it presents itself as multiple people reading these scenarios, essentially. Like even if you said AI wrote the story itself, but you can tell that it was narrated by AI for the simple fact that on some of these stories, they forget when they copy and paste it into whatever's doing the reading. It's rare, but on some of them, reading prompt is the first two words out of their mouth because they accidentally copied and pasted the reading prompt portion, and it read it out, and I was like, yeah, this is 100% AI. Not a single human being did any of this outside of actually uploading it and typing in, write me a story of X.
Yeah. I actually thought about dabbling in AI and seeing if I could
quiet night at the Edgewood military base.
Yeah, that's
nestled deep in the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, it is.
Captain Sarah Mitchell stood at the edge of the watchtower, scanning the horizon through her binoculars. The stars twinkled brightly above, cast.
But yeah, anyway, the point is, AI is here to stay. You can whine and complain about it all you want, but it is getting better, and it's here to stay. And there are channels that are cropping up of like just AI reading prompts at this point.
Yeah,
and it's a genius if it takes off.
Here's the funny thing:
it started to, and then it stopped doing. So I don't know what happened.
Well, here's the funny thing. You know what I think is going to one of the I won't say industry, one of the niches that's going to be hit with this the hardest, probably. VTubers. Think about it. You just get a model and attach an AI to it, and it responds to people as they type.
Well, see, that one's going to be a lot harder to do.
It will be harder, but it won't be impossible.
Because the way VTubers do, they're essentially mocapping themselves.
I know.
To the model. So that's why they have the rigging and stuff. And when
we did
around it moves and yeah, but an AI can't do that at the moment. So yeah.
Well,
if you can get an AI to actually fluently be able to read chat, interact with chat, then yeah, I can see that happening and actually move around like a person. And it is getting there, because I did see a video on somebody else who was essentially creating an AI girlfriend and showing off the ability to how she moves and responds to different things and stuff.
Oh boy.
It's getting there, but that one might be a little further off.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be tomorrow, but what I'm saying is I think it's going to be one of those inevitable things that happen.
There's also there is kind of that already too in existence on a certain fan site and stuff as well too, where the AI makes provocative images.
Oh yeah.
And then just automatically uploads them like 3 times a day. And then people pay to look at the AI girl who's not real, not realizing that she's an AI, image, essentially. But yeah, I just thought it was really funny that Hasbro finally went mask off for this.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, so we're going to start using AI. Oh, and we've already been doing it. And it's like, no fucking kidding. You don't say. It's not like it's been apparent all fucking year. And the sad part is the AI is probably going to do Dungeons and Dragons better than what you got working for you right now. So it might be what is necessary to save it.
That's actually kind of a good point. It probably will, because AI is only as biased as the people that make it, and likely the people that made, ChatGPT aren't going to be writing stuff specifically for D&D in the sense of like the messaging kind of thing. So yeah, it very well could. As far as the artists and stuff that are inevitably going to be affected by this.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh
no! And the sad part is, for one, of course, I don't feel bad for him for a variety of reasons that has been explored on this channel way more times than I can count.
Yeah,
but
go watch the other old stuff if you want to.
They set themselves up for this when they went on strike. Because I said it when they went on strike last time that the union doesn't give a damn about you, and I guarantee you they will throw you a bone, but take the rest of it with them. And that's exactly what they did. They threw them a bone, said, yeah, guys, we've got protections for AI and stuff, and they don't have any. They literally barely have any. They've got like scratching the surface protection from AI taking their jobs, but in reality, they ain't got it. And when you throw yourself out, that is the best thing that Hasbro and these other companies are hoping for. So when you've got this guy, Corey, here, who's like, I'm done. I'm canceling all projects. I'm not working for them again. They take that as a win. It's not the win you think it is, but Hasbro is looking at it like, that's one less person we have to fucking pay. Good job. Take yourself out, please. The rest of you are welcome to follow suit. That's what they're wanting. You want to fight this sort of thing, you kind of have to stay there and force them to let you go. Kind of deal. But anyway, yeah, I saw it coming a mile away. I think we both did. We've talked about it, and just seeing them take it full off, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I can see that.
I mean, look, if Hasbro could, they would take every one of these artists at the moment they striked and just Okay, did it play? Because you didn't react.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I got distracted.
If you don't react to thing, I don't know if they.
Wait, did something play? Next time we're just gonna not react and just see how he handles it. Okay, guys.
Yeah, then I'll start troubleshooting my GoXLR because I already, for some reason, the audio isn't working on it, and that's ticking me off because I took, no joke, it took me like 2 hours, 3 hours to set up every one of those just perfectly. Now it's like not even playing in the mic.
Well, maybe you've got a wire cross somewhere.
Yeah, it's called my inability to do IT shit.
Maybe you've got the wrong thing linked, like when I had the wrong thing coming out of the wrong speaker settings.
Yeah, I hate the routing in this. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you legit could be right, but I can't figure it out. Like, no joke. I'm just like,
yeah. Anyway, It is way past my bedtime, and I have to work tomorrow. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize it was 10:31.
I didn't think you had work, so.
I forgot I worked. Anyway, with that has been Gaming with a Side of Salt. Links for everybody is in the description down below. Of course, with me is Chad and Meg, who had to leave early for a party. But yeah, we got to do what we got to do. So do the thing where you like, the comments, subscribes, all that good jazz. Do you want to leave with anything? Rough Nut. There we go. We've got camera footage of the elusive Rough Nut. If you want to see more Rough Nut, naturally you have to go to Chad's channel and subscribe to it, follow it, all that good jazz, because Rough Nut likes to get in places Rough Nut shouldn't be, and just hang out.
All that money on my channel goes to her food and her medication, you expensive little bastard.
Yeah, that's right. He needs to pay for more cat medicine. Go sub to him. Donate to him. He needs it. Anyway, yeah, good night, Sky. Yeah, I have to go to bed. I turn into a pumpkin at 10, and I'm somehow not. No, I might be a little orange.
One last thing, real quick, Zia. Dolly Parton donated $1 million to you guys.
I saw that, by the way. She was down there and donated $1 million to the disaster relief, which, you know, we may not agree politically, but she does take care of her own. So just like the rest of us country bumpkins down here, us rednecks or whatever it was that, what did they call us? Hillbillies. There we go. That's right. The guy with the backhoe, hillbilly, is like a random hillbilly. Couldn't it? It's like, look, we went out there and we did it our fucking selves. How we acquired the machinery doesn't fucking matter. On top of that, we'll take it back, which is the difference between us and the northern cities and stuff. It's like if we go and steal a cat to go clear the road, we do take the cat back to the construction site that we stole it from. So there's that, at least. I'm not lying. I mean, some of these people, of course, have their own backhoes and stuff because
farmland. Explain that, like it's third owner kind of thing.
We have farmland. We have farmers who have this heavy machinery on their property that they do use for various tasks on their property.
Yeah, we got them in Ohio too. Like all the farmers, they got a lot of.
So this idea that a random hillbilly owns one, there's a quite good chance that they do.
Bro, they think
and the fact that there's so many of us who have experience with heavy machinery that we can literally walk up to one, just hop in and drive it away, it should be an indication of something right there too. It's like it clearly was one of those tweets that I happened to have saw that was like purely the difference between the rural and the whatever it is, can't think of the name.
Urban.
Yeah, urban versus rural kind of people. It's like in the city, if you were to, you pick a random person, sit them in a piece of heavy machinery and say, here, drive this down the street. They're whacking every building along the way, have no idea what this is. The arms flipping out like this and stuff like that. Meanwhile, you just go pick up some random good-o boy over here at the Commons or whatever and say, hey, can you take this down the road? And he just hops in, turns the key, does the thing, goes with it. And it's like, hey, this good? Yeah, okay, sweet. And then hops out and, that should mean something.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If you ask me, it's like, how they talk about manuals now is like an anti-theft deterrent because nobody knows how to drive a 4 or 5 speed. And I mean, I've driven an 18 speed semi.
Yeah.
Those things have like 3 fucking levers in it. And a pop switch or 2 levers and a pop switch and stuff like that. And, it's like if you put somebody who has no idea what, has never done it before, they're like, what the fuck? They don't know what to do.
Yeah, well,
you can just pick a good old boy up, stick him in there, and he's just down the road with it clearing trees or whatnot. Yeah, a random hillbilly absolutely could be the one doing it because we sure as hell ain't waiting on our government to fucking come and do it. And then when they do, they want to sit there and tell us we can't do anything and only they can do it. And we're just like, yeah, fuck off. We got this shit.
Exactly.
Apparently. Anyway, again, it is after my bedtime. I need to go to bed. I have to work in the morning. Another 12 hours. Anyway, tomorrow we'll be playing some Thorns and Liberty. I'm sorry, but that name is bad.
It is. I'm not even
I wish they had called it something else, because that name just does not roll off my tongue at all very well.
And it's hilarious how many times you mess it up. So everybody watching, compilation video.
You do. I mean, Sky, I'm not kidding. So we're part of in the disaster zone. I'm in the East Tennessee side where we had massive flooding and everything. Buildings are gone, stuff like that. We haven't heard really from the government much outside of our own governor, Bill Lee, or whatever the fuck his name was, say a few things and show up. And they did finally come over to the North Carolina side to tour, or our government finally showed up to say something. But it was like, we were already, 5 days or so into this disaster before anybody showed up to take charge. And when they did, our guys just sort of looked at him and said, go fuck off somewhere. No, because they came in making demands that we stop doing shit. And we were just like, no, we've got this. And we've had 5 guys, literally 5 guys, working on our water treatment plant, which was demolished, by the way. It's not there. Well, okay, it's there. The shell is there, but it was completely underwater. Completely gutted.
So everything inside.
We've had 5 guys for the past 5 days working hard as fuck just to get water back to the county. And we're now starting to see places get running water again for the first time in the past 5 days.
Let's be real. If the government did that, it would have taken how many months?
Yeah, if the government had done that, we'd been without water for God knows how long. But they did come in and try to issue this, we're doing this sort of thing. And we're like, no, fuck off. We've got this. And then they went over to North Carolina, and they've been asserting their authority over there to the point that I heard, I think it was Chad who retweeted something where they got fed up now, or they're getting fed up with it.
They're going to start arresting.
And they're wanting to arrest, feds who are trying to turn people away who are in the process of helping and stuff. So, yeah, I completely believe that, because we done told them to fuck off. So, but they get in the way more than anything at this point. Anyway, it's time to go. So, with that, we do this every Friday at about 8 p.m. Eastern time. This is Gaming with a Side of Salt. And that's all I got. You got anything else?
No.
Pointing to nothing? Okay. All right. Well, see y'all in the next one.